you for tuning into Republic TV. I'm Priyanka Sharma. We are live and breaking, and I'll be taking you through the details of what's really expected today with respect to Maharashtra political crisis unraveling. Now, as the Maha Vikas Aghadi government in Maharashtra is on the verge of crumbling, from Guwahati to Maharashtra, several hectic parleys have been lined up. And while Uddhav Thackeray has called for an executive meet, 1,905.5 kilometers away, Shinde camp in Guwahati is all set to appoint its own official spokesperson. And keeping a close watch on the swift Maha developments, BJP too has now swung into action. And our largest team of correspondents are on the ground, but let me first go across to Ankit Prasad, who's also joining us from outside the Shiv Sena Bhawan. Ankit, we have seen since yesterday where you are, in fact. Aditya Thackeray had gone inside, had addressed the leadership of the Shiv Sena, and he had stated that these are the people who have gone to Guwahati are actually betraying the ideology of Balasaheb Thackeray, betraying Hindutva philosophy that Shiv Sena is following. So what really is expected with respect to this meeting that is going to take place today at the Shiv Sena Bhavan, and also Uddhav Thackeray getting their flock together?
It is a matter of, like you said, getting the flock together, Priyanka. And yesterday, after Aditya Thackeray made his statement about how the MLAs have been bought, his father and Chief Minister and Party Chief Uddhav Thackeray doubled down on that in his late night address, where he went so far as to say that even if only 2 people remain, he will rebuild the party. And there is a clear effort by the Shiv Sena faction of Uddhav Thackeray to muster their on-ground cadres, to go back to their roots and to accumulate all their numbers, to concentrate and consolidate what they have left. Because I think there is a genuine fear that the Eknath Shinde camp will make away with large tracts of the Shiv Sena party. And so that is why today there are a number of key meetings planned. We've already seen how they've been speaking to the pramukhs of the various areas, the constituencies here. There is a structure within the Shiv Sena where each constituency has a pramukh, and then within that there are 6 subdivisions also. So there is a structure in place, and now Aditya Thackeray and also Uddhav Thackeray, of course, they are about to embark on a series of meetings that will get all these people together and will allow them to speak to them and to engage with them and to ensure that they are not taken away by the Eknath Shinde camp. Because, and this is what our sources are telling us, that the resentment and some of the dissent and dissatisfaction is not just limited to the MLAs who are in the Eknath Shinde camp, it's very much on the ground. And so there is a battle raging for that, and that is what I think their eyes are on right now, the Uddhav Thackeray
absolutely,
faction.
Ankit. You know, of course, some massive developments that we are expecting there where you are at the Shiv Sena Bhavan as well. Stay on with us, Ankit. Let me also bring in Alisha, who's been tracking this story. Alisha, but really it boils down to the numbers, isn't it? How much numbers does Uddhav camp really have? Because he has been making emotional appeals, and Sanjay Raut has been saying that we have the numbers. We are in touch with 21 MLAs who are in Guwahati. How much truth is this to these statements? And what are the numbers that are with Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray? Also put this into perspective with respect to the Deputy Speaker, developments on that front as well, Alisha.
Well, yes, Priyanka, while talking about the numbers, Eknath Shinde has clearly showed it on a paper that was given on an application that was given to the Deputy Speaker, clearly asking that he has the number. He has 37 Shiv Sena MLA signatures, which clearly wanted Eknath Shinde to be the leader of a Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly, and Bharat Rao Gogavle should be appointed as the whip chief, because we know that the appointment, at the time Eknath Shinde, who left from Mumbai to Surat with 11 MLAs at the beginning, the decision that was taken by the Uddhav Thackeray that he should be removed. Eknath Shinde was removed as the leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly, and Ajay Chaudhary was appointed. But that has also been challenged by Eknath Shinde, because we know that letter that was given clearly stating we have the number, because they appointed Ajay Chaudhary with the numbers of 22 MLAs. But the numbers what Eknath Shinde has, which really clearly give indication and clearly gives some heads up to Eknath Shinde be the leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly. But Deputy Speaker has accepted the application that was given by Uddhav Thackeray camp. Is not only he has appointed Ajay Chaudhary as the leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly, but also Sunil Prabhu has been appointed as a whip chief. So this is something, a case has been looking after by the Deputy Speaker. We saw there was series of meetings yesterday in Vidhan Bhavan. Even Maharashtra AG Ashutosh Kumbhakoni, he was present in the Vidhan Bhavan, and there was some sort of legalities they wanted to understand what can be the possibility, because Deputy Speaker has to go with the two petition, because one petition that has been given by Uddhav Thackeray camp, the Sena leader, where they have seeking the disqualification of 16 rebel MLAs. Whether the fact we know that what is mentioned in that petition, that the whip was issued to all the MLAs to attend the meeting, but retaliated to that, Eknath Shinde has also showed that don't tell us the rule, because according to the Constitution 10th schedule, the whip is only been issued in the assembly and not for the meeting. But we have to see what will be transpired, but also all eyes on the meeting of Uddhav Thackeray.
Well, absolutely, Alisha. All eyes on what's really happening with Uddhav Thackeray. But stay on with us. Let me also bring in my colleagues Shivangi and Piyush as well. To you first, Shivangi. We have been seeing how Devendra Fadnavis is all set to have meetings with the ally parties as well. Now, if BJP has been maintaining that they have nothing to do with what's really happening with Shiv Sena, what really are these meetings are going to be about? What are your sources telling you? Where these meetings are going to be carried out, and what will be on the agenda as well, Shivangi?
Okay, we're getting some live shots right now, live visuals coming. A couple of, in fact, leaders are arriving at this point of time. Priyanka, if you're getting this, we are getting some live visuals right now, some action happening, couple of action happening. Live shots right now. Some of the leaders there coming inside. We are getting some live visuals for you, Priyanka. Now remember, some important meetings will be taking place in Sagar. This is Devendra Fadnavis' residence here, and later on in the day, we're going to see some more meetings take place. 11 a.m. is when Devendra Fadnavis will be meeting his party allies. And what will be discussed, Priyanka, later on? That we will have to, watch and see later, because as we have told you, the official statement of the BJP is that we are not concerned, or we are not involved, I would say, with what's happening in the political spectrum there in Shiv Sena. Priyanka, that is a statement that is coming from the BJP now. That is an official statement. In fact, BJP has taken out an official statement yesterday. Chandrakant Patil had done that yesterday. So if we can talk about what exactly will this meeting be about. Now, off the record, many things can happen within there. I'm sure that there will be many important meetings there. It could be possible that the BJP might also come out with its own stance in the political crisis which is happening here in Maharashtra. And Priyanka, what is very interesting to note right now are the different narratives which are coming out. BJP maintaining its own stand that we're not involved with what's happening politically there. At the same time, BJP has been trumping Shiv Sena when it comes to numbers. Remember, legislative council elections, BJP got more numbers. Rajya Sabha polls, BJP got more numbers. Very big setback for the MVA. And right now, of course, the strategy meetings could also take place, Priyanka, because remember the civic elections. Civic elections are also coming. In fact, this is a very important road. It's a very important road because right over here there's traffic also as well, Priyanka. So as you can see that just across the road this is the Devendra Fadnavis residence, and very soon we will see more developments happen around 11 a.m.
Right, that's right, Shivangi. And of course, we trust you to keep us ahead on what's really happening at the Sagar residence as well. As you rightly pointed out, there were several leaders making their way towards the Sagar residence, and over the past 2-3 days, we have seen several MLAs making their way there, meetings happening. However, publicly them maintaining that nothing is really happening. We don't have anything to do with what's happening with Shiv Sena. On that note, let me also go across to Piyush Ori. Well, Piyush, let's talk about the ally partners as well. Let's talk about the NCP. Let's talk about the Congress as to what's really happening in those parties in the backdrop of this political crisis that is unraveling in Maharashtra. We saw yesterday Sharad Pawar meeting with Uddhav Thackeray, sources suggesting that there was a recommendation made for Uddhav Thackeray to tender his resignation. What's really happening with the NCP leadership? What's really happening with the Congress? If you could walk us through that.
So it is very significant, Priyanka, you mentioned about two partners, NCP and Congress, both who are very important parts of Maha Vikas Aghadi. First, let's just come to NCP. Now, NCP definitely has not let its card out in open, but yes, there are speculations that, NCP chief Sharad Pawar is not happy about the entire incident, and he did say this thing to Uddhav Thackeray, that to avoid political humiliation, it was important for him to, resign as a chief minister. But as you know, Uddhav Thackeray has always, played his politics as being a part of rebelling against the system. And that's why I believe he has said that, he will not quit and he will fight till the very end. He has tried to make an emotional appeal towards the Shiv Sena workers, trying to say that, he will make concessions and he will come back to his core ideology of Hindutva. Now, this is about NCP. The third most important partner, which I think we have not discussed about, is Congress. Now, Congress is, has Maharashtra for long has been a strong bastion for Congress, and Congress definitely does not want to lose its power, taking into consideration that how, they are weak politically all over the country. So Congress also, has got huge stakes involved. In fact, just 2 days before, there was a very important meeting which was held in Sahyadri, where large number of, Congress leaders had attended. And over there, when Ashok Chavan came and spoke to us, he said that, it was important that Mahavikas Aghadi government survive because it was formed to keep BJP out of power. And if by chance it is going to, fall apart, BJP is going to come back and it's going to come back to power. So for keeping BJP out of power, it is important that Mahavikas Aghadi, with all its differences, with all its squabbles, internal squabbles, they remain. So NCP, Shiv Sena, led by Uddhav Thackeray camp, and Congress, they are trying to make sure that Mahavikas Aghadi survives.
Right, Piyush. You're telling us some very important updates, and of course, what's really happening with the NCP and the Congress as well. At this point, let me also go across to Alisha. Alisha, there are massive developments that are taking place. You are also breaking some stories as well. What is the latest input that you were getting? Tell our viewers that.
Well, the important information that we are getting is that Eknath Shinde is going to hold an important meeting at 2 p.m. where the spokesperson is going to be appointed. And according to the top sources in Shinde camp has informed that Deepak Kesarkar is likely to be the spokesperson who is going to speak regularly with media on what is the further course of action from the fraction of Eknath Shinde camp. So there is a series of meetings that has been lined up. A minute-to-minute update we will get you only on Republic. We will be right back after a short break. Stay